Hello and welcome to Loppy Loves Iceland. If you haven't been here before, my name is Lauren and on this channel I talk about my life as an immigrant living in Iceland. Today I am going to be talking about some Icelandic phrases that I misunderstood at first and what they actually mean. Learning Icelandic is always like a constant uphill struggle. I rarely have to switch to English now, but my grammar is not great and I still can't roll my R's. So yeah, that is a big struggle. But there have been some fun mishaps and misunderstandings along the way, and I'm sure there is for many Icelandic learners and just people learning a second language in general. So today I thought I'd share some of the things that I have misunderstood in Icelandic. The first word is gluggaveður. And if you have ever tried to learn Icelandic, or even if you just researched Icelandic, that's one of the words that have probably come up because it's a word that doesn't directly translate into English. It just means window weather directly. And even though I had read about this word many times, even before I moved to Iceland, because it's always in interesting Icelandic word articles, I still misunderstood it for a couple of years. So my understanding of window weather was weather that looks nice through the window, but isn't nice. In reality, it's cold weather. That is what it means, but I took that as like snow is very pretty to look out of the window at, but it's not nice to go out in because it's cold. But gluggaveður means more like when it looks like it should be warm outside, like blue skies and sunny, but it is freezing cold. And I constantly misused gluggaveður for the first few years that I lived here. Another word that I struggled with was ógeðslegt, which I'm definitely not pronouncing it properly right there, but that means disgusting. I got very confused and have quite an embarrassing story. I had only ever heard that phrase used in a positive way. Ógeðslega gott means like really good. Literally translates to disgustingly good, which makes no sense to me. But I used to work in a coffee shop and we had to constantly ask people, is everything okay? How was the coffee? How was the food? I often got that response, ógeðslega gott. And I know that gott means good, and I didn't know what the first word meant, but it was always used in a positive manner. So I just took it to mean like really good, which is what that phrase means. However, when I later went on to work at a different restaurant, the food eventually got worse and worse and it wasn't good in the end. And I still had to ask people how the food was, And one time we just had one guy in the restaurant and he was eating, so I went to go and ask him how the food was. And he had like a straight face, or actually kind of maybe a little bit of an angry face, and just said, "Þetta er ógeðslegt." She's like, "That's disgusting." However, I had only ever heard that used as a positive phrase, so I took that to mean a good thing. So I replied, "Gott að heyra," which is just good to hear. And then he looked very shocked, got up and left the restaurant, left his food. And my reaction was like, what a strange guy. He said the food was good and then he left and didn't finish. And it was later when I got home, I asked my boyfriend at the time what that word means. And that's when I found out that the guy wasn't happy with his food. And I just replied, good to hear. A phrase that I have always found a little bit bizarre, nice, but bizarre, is takk fyrir síðast, which is just thank you for last time. And so if you go to a party or an event or just hang out with someone, the next time you see them, you would say takk fyrir síðast to them. And it's just to say thank you for hanging out last time or thanks for the party. I don't think we really do that in the UK that I can think of. We might just say like, oh, it was fun last night, or, good to see you. But yeah, we don't thank people. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you're from the UK, do you thank people like for hanging out with them the next time that you see them after you've hung out? Because to me, it's a little bit strange. Another word that first of all, I was saying it wrong for 5 years, but even now that I have been corrected and found out what the word was, it's still weird to me. Hnífapö, which just means cutlery, but the direct translation is a pair of knives, I think. It's strange to me because I just kind of picture Edward Scissorhands for some reason when I think of a pair of knives. That is just cutlery, not just knives. But what I was saying for a very long time was kniv okkur, which is our knife. Because I used to work at a restaurant, we had to offer cutlery to every customer because chopsticks were the main utensil used in that restaurant, but we always had to offer if they wanted regular Western cutlery as well. I was learning mostly from just listening to other people. So I was hearing the other staff say what I thought was Viltu fá kniv okkur, which is, do you want our knife? Which at the time I thought was weird phrasing, but didn't question it, and I should have. So I was pronouncing it wrong. 5 years, no one corrected me. Some customers used to like kind of snigger a little bit or smirk when I asked them that. Like they would laugh a little bit, but no one corrected me. And I was here for longer than is okay before I learned the correct word for cutlery, before I saw it written down somewhere. One of the strangest phrases that I hear being used here is hvaða módel ertu, which is what model are you? And I think maybe the first few times that someone asked me that, I got very confused and answered like, I'm not a model. I thought they were asking like, you know, like different kinds of model, like catalogue model, you know, lingerie model, like all these different kinds of models like as a career. And I was always really confused, like, did I tell them that I'm a model? Like thinking what I've said wrong to make them think that. No, when someone asks here, what model are you? They're asking what year you were born. As in like a car model. So I am a 94 model. I still get a little bit thrown off when someone asks that instead of just asking how old I am. It's such a weird way of asking that question, but it's very common here. So if someone doesn't know what's going on, doesn't know what you're talking about, just a little bit out of the loop, they will say, ég kem alveg af fjöllum, which means I come completely from the mountains. Again, very confusing. I don't hear that used very often. I have heard it a couple of times. And I think the first time I probably just thought that someone was just making a really random statement in the middle of a conversation. Just let me know, like, from the mountains, like, okay, that's nice for you. Irrelevant, but nice for you. Another strange word that I don't like to use here, instead of saying cheers, we say skál in Iceland, but skál just means bowl. So it's never made sense to me, because you don't drink out of a bowl, you drink out of a glass or a mug or, you know. So my friends and family here are used to it, but instead of saying skál, I will just say whatever I'm holding, like glass or bottle, if I'm holding a mug. Yeah, because that's a really weird one to me. And finally, a phrase that I hear quite a lot, really confused me for the longest time, and still does a little bit. Áfram með smjörið, which áfram just means like go. For example, if you were at a football game, you'd hear áfram Iceland, which is like go Iceland. But áfram með smjörið just means go, or go on with the butter, and it means get on with the job, like get on with the work, get on with your project, you know. Like if you've got a deadline to meet or something, you know, it's like get on with it basically. But for most of my time in Iceland, I have worked in a dairy factory and particularly in the butter department. So I thought people were just making a really weird joke for a long time that I just wasn't getting. But no, that actually is a phrase here. So yeah, that's a really strange one that I'm still not used to. So that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Are there any weird phrases that you have come across living in Iceland, or even if you just live in a different country other than your home country? Anything that doesn't make sense to you? I'd love to hear it in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!